You can hear that. This is what I was playing at the beginning of the fake Josh Galt song. I don't know if you can hear it on your end, but it didn't play because I had something wrong.
Very, very faint.
Isn't that? Is it faint?
It was very faint on your other video. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I love it. It's my favorite song. It's Master
What's
Killer.
What's your shirt, Spam?
What's that?
What's on Spam's shirt?
Oh, Bowie.
It's Bowie. She's doing the Bowie. Oh, let me move your water.
Bowie.
There, I'll move it.
Oh, cool.
Here. Move your water right to there.
I used to run a t-shirt store, so boy, do I wish I bought every t-shirt that
Gosh, Jolt is on again. Aloha, everybody. Welcome.
Gosh, Jolt.
Welcome to Fracking the Hoard number 4. Conversations with Jeff, a.k.a. Hayfrosells.
Fireside chats.
Fireside chats with no fire. And I'm Primo Kimo, and this is my wife, Banshee, also known. She's Bridget. I'm James. If you want to know our names.
Arkansas.
Aloha, Arkansas. Oops, I did not change that properly to the horn that everybody loves. I know. See, once people don't like it, but once they start hearing it, it's like it's almost missing if we don't have it. So.
Yeah.
And I also
should. It's your trademark.
It's my trademark. So what are you gonna do about that? Nope. There is a fan on though. I wonder what fan that is. Is that just my hard drive under here? Maybe it is. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Well, there's nothing we can do about that. So welcome everybody to the
Someone
4th edition.
The mics are low.
Mics are low. Who's saying that?
Dog walks the dog.
I feel like he said that before, but we are blasting levels up here, up in this piece.
Up in this mug.
Up in this mug. So I can turn Jeff up a little bit. I can turn me up a little bit. We are in the yellow. I touch the red. That's how I like to say it. I touch the red.
How's
well, I hope
that?
you could.
How's
oh no,
that?
Motorcycle Dork says our. Oh man, can you guys get bigger ears? Oh no, he's saying there we go. Okay,
okay,
so
good.
we are hot.
Thank you.
We are hot mic'd. I'm yelling. Good afternoon. Sounds good. Jeff has a little feedback. There's nothing we can do about that feedback at this point because he's usually okay, and then every once in a while. But we are, data bits and molecules are transferring.
We're doing the best we can.
That's right, and we're like he's in Vancouver, Canada.
And we're good enough, and we're smart enough, and gosh,
and gosh
people like us.
This is the best we can do. And I'm here in Burlington, Vermont, so we are coast to coast. Are you actually on the coast? Can you get to the ocean?
Yeah.
Like, how far is that? Like an hour?
We're like, if we drove, we're like 25 minutes from the ocean.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And that's with traffic.
So if we were about, I would say we're 3 hours. We'd have to go to Boston. We could get there a little closer in New Hampshire, but pretty much 3 hours from the ocean.
The thing is, it's not the real ocean. And what I mean by that is there's not like waves because Vancouver Island blocks all the waves. So
is that Puget Sound?
No, it's the ocean. Don't get me wrong, it's the ocean, but it doesn't feel like if you go to Vancouver Island and then you go on the others, like the far end of the other side of Vancouver Island, there's a small town there called Tofino. It's a very huge surf town. People come from all across the world to go to this place to surf. And when you stay there, you can hear the waves crashing up against. That's the ocean to me. Like, to hear those waves, right? It's just awesome.
Yes, and you probably have rocks up there, so it sounds very oceany.
Yeah.
I'm used to. I grew up just a half hour away, and we used to I only remember doing this a handful of times. I wasn't hardcore about it, but every once in a while, Tom Cunningham, if you're out there, you'll remember these stories. He used to pick me up, and he had a 2002, a little BMW 2002, and we put the surfboards on the top, 6 o'clock in the morning. We would drive over to Half Moon Bay, California, surf for like an hour, drive back, and be like 10 minutes late for school only. So I wasn't driving. Otherwise, I would have only been 5 minutes late. Because you know how I feel about being on time. 5 minutes late is on time. So welcome everybody. Maybe you caught my little fun thing with being the Gosh Jalt on his show. He got a kick out of that. I get a kick out of him getting a kick out of it, and I hope he enjoys his time off and he comes back re-energized and can talk for an hour a day. Because even if I don't even know what he's saying half the time, I just like to hear him talk.
I don't know how he comes up like with topics every day. Like to me, that's just I couldn't do it.
Well, he has a lot of commenters that, help keep the show going too.
But he said that, part of the reason is that it's just too much going on, too many draws. And when he's, trying to relax, he's thinking, oh, I've got to be somewhere at one. There's too many pulling parts. And even
he has children.
Oh, he's got kids. We got a dog right here, Pokey. And he does not require a lot of energy.
Yeah, he does.
Well,
a lot of attention.
He's full maintenance, but it's not. It's just tiny maintenance. It's a little tiny.
He's like a dog / lap heater for Spam.
He is.
That's right. Neither one of them could survive without each other. They're
At
just
this
like
point,
E.T. and Elliot.
We are absolutely.
So
right here. Yep.
So how are your guys' sales right now?
So in general, the way I like to put it I don't want to put out the actual numbers, but I was saying it yesterday. It's part of it has to do with just being ashamed of them. They're so gross compared to last year. So what we have experienced is that 50, when we first started going, oh my gosh, after summer, it was down 60%. So now I hover between 40 and 50% down from my high in June. June was the same number as, 5-digit number from last December. So December we're about 50% off of our last year's numbers. And I did look them up. And I can tell you, let me just tell you, I'm going to tell you exactly. I'm not going to tell you exactly how much, but I'm going to tell you, I think when I looked at this year over year, so this year compared to last year at this exact same time, I'm up 0.7%. So I am up.
That deserves.
Let's be positive about that 0.7, an exciting 0.7. That's right. But if you were to, I'm just generating the report.
So how are your sales right like this month? Like doing the reset, and I'm interested to hear kind of from the audience, kind of like how are you guys seeing a bump in the Christmas, the Christmas bump?
And I'll answer while they answer. No, there's no Christmas bump at all. But what there's not is any more slumping. So whether it's the nuclear reset, whether it's Q4, whether it's both, we are enjoying just very, very.
You're enjoying it not being like the summer.
The summer was horrible because we didn't know what was going on. Now I'm scared about, after Christmas because the numbers did not improve for Q4. I haven't seen.
They have for me.
Have they?
See, traditionally, December is really not that great for me because I have a lot of collectibles that normally people are buying for themselves. But I've been making a concentrated effort to have more items. Like I've been diversifying over the last couple of years, and I think I finally hit a number where there's enough things in my store that people are actually buying them for other people Christmas gifts. Like I've been so busy these last 10 days. It's that's why I'm asking if other people are seeing that.
Well, we do see Patricia.
Patricia.
Aloha, Patricia.
Hey, Patricia.
Let's give her a horn. Her sales are up even more than from the reset. So I think it's Q4 holiday gifts.
Yeah.
Though she does have up and downs, and that's what I'm noticing. If you were to fill in all my peaks and valleys with the valleys, if you were to fill them in, because normally at Christmas it's all pretty much just up, but I have had 0 days this month. So if you were to fill in the valleys, not only would we have more money, but it would look much more normal. So I'm thinking a lot of people have these peaks and valleys, or 0 days, or just 1 or 2 items in a day.
I do have some. There are like periods of no sales too, every once in a while. But overall, my sales, like I had to make an impromptu trip to my shipper yesterday because someone wanted. I think he was in New Hampshire and he wanted to ensure that it got there by Christmas. So it was a decent sale. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to get this in the mail tonight. I had other things that were going that made it worth it. And but yeah, overall things have been pretty busy for me. I've been happy.
Well, you've been also diversifying, so
yeah,
that's nice. I mean, when you say your sales are up, are you talking specifically eBay or across?
Well, right now because we're talking about eBay, but actually local has been up for me as well. And here's something I think what's going to happen is. And I think this is a reason to do local, especially around this time of year. I think you can get premiums for things locally as you get closer to Christmas because people will start to panic because they won't be able to get things shipped in time that they'll start looking local.
They won't be able to get the G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip.
I'm thinking that this coming weekend is going to be a cutoff for a lot of people to feel comfortable for purchasing something.
Somebody
online.
said the 17th, which would be
that's cutting it a little.
That's
close.
cutting it. I
absolutely.
agree.
Yeah.
So yeah, this would be the meat of the thing, and then next week would be the panic-stricken people.
Yeah. So we did a markdown. We just started today on our store. I see Dog Walks Dog. Primo.
So we've got ups and downs, and then Biff Boffo says his category has never seen a Q4 bump, up 4% year-over-year gross sales. I'm up 0.7, but absolutely net profit up 12%. May hit 20% at year's end because he's done spending.
I'm sorry, I don't know what his category is. What is it? Do you know?
He's got a lot of items. So
I think it's top secret.
It's top secret items, and I want to say, I'm sorry if I get this wrong because I try to remember stuff, and that's just a jumble up there. But I think he said he had like 13,000 items, maybe.
I think he had 17,000.
17,000. It's a lot of items.
That's
Once
a lot.
you get over 2,000, it's a lot to me. Patricia sells mostly a home decor and vintage home decor, and I think on Etsy she was like Eames era or something.
Ooh, nice.
Jet Fixers says,
Hi.
hello, everybody. Aloha, Jets.
Everything is fine. Everything is perfect.
Kimo, do we run a markdown sales weekly? Do you know you will lose your Google placement with a reset? So I don't lose. Google placement is not a problem for me if you consider the big chunk of my sales are offsite page views. I don't know where they come from. We haven't figured out that exactly. James was going to do a little bit of research on that, my boring reseller life, because first of all, he wanted to look at his things and make sure he wasn't getting double dipped by paying for.
He did do a video a couple hours ago.
Did he?
I saw.
I didn't have a time to watch that, so that's great. Everybody should go watch that.
Well, Motorcycle Dork did a video last night on that.
So Motorcycle Dork he showed actual numbers that looked like he was doing it. He was in our chat yesterday when James was there, and James, when he first brought it up, and James, sort of said, I don't know, I'll have to do that. So please go watch both Motorcycle Dork. I haven't even seen that James had a new one up on that, so check him out too. But Motorcycle Dork actually could prove that he was paying for offsite promotions, but then he also got dinged with a standard promoted listing. And I think it may not be illegal or anything, but it seems like if you were promoting your store off-site and you were driving traffic to your store and not to an item, then I think they could double dip you for the promoted listing on the item. But if you're driving from off-site to a particular item and then they're charging a promoted listing on that item too, that's a double dip.
That's horrible.
I think that's really
bad
wrong.
That's bad. That's bad eBay
bad juju.
BEP.
Bad
It's bad energy. It's bad.
protection.
It's bad. It looks bad. The optics on that are just absolute greed.
Can we call it caca? That's caca.
Yeah, that's caca. And if you think about it, like I commented on Josh's Motorcycle Dorks channel about, I think he had 443 clicks, 2 sales. One of them was he got ding dong promoted, and the other one he didn't, if I'm reading it correctly. And imagine all the sales that could have been generated by him bringing traffic, him paying to bring traffic to eBay, and then them going to his page and then clicking on another item and buying something else because eBay is showing them something else. eBay is the only one making benefits off of that.
It definitely seems like eBay's eating its young. I mean, I'm not sure, and our lunch. eBay's just eating it all.
I honestly, I I see this ending very badly with eBay. I really do. And I'm not being negative. I'm just being like, we are not marketers. Like the majority of the people who are resellers, like asking them to go out and trying to set up these pay-per-click campaigns and doing all of these things, this is not in our wheelhouse. And I just feel like I have not heard one positive story about somebody setting these off-site campaigns up and having phenomenal results. And if you're going to do that, why would you just not start your own store? I really don't understand the logic in this.
Well, I know that, I mean, I don't like to like just steal people's info that they're giving out on their videos, but it's important to cover a couple of things. Go watch Josh Galt and John doing their eBay Power Hour podcast today, this afternoon at like 11. It came out Eastern. And Josh mentions in that at some point during the testing process, he put his percentage to 50% promoted listings and saw no discernible return on that. So I could name 10 videos that you should watch that proves that promoted listing is not sophisticated. It's just a gouge. And I'm not saying that's negative either, but it is.
No, it is negative.
It's caca. It's a caca.
Yeah.
If they're double dipping, it's caca for like, just, boy, you are really pushing our limits here with that kind of behavior. If they're saying that it's a caveat emptor or whatever they like to say, we're offering you all these products. If you happen to sign up for all of them and we're double, triple, quadruple dipping, tough, and I don't think that's fair. Let me just catch up on a couple things here. Being sports card category, November, December have usually been my slower months. November was actually my best month since March. I attribute 100% to the reset. Well, I'm glad that's working for you. You're obviously in a category that people are buying. I do think that, perhaps the categories have shifted a little bit. And what used to not be something that you might get a hit on, and I mean, you could have put more items in your store. There's a lot of different things that could feed into that. But I'm just glad you are having the best, your best month since March. I would like to also have that, if I might. Marilyn Wilson says, I know not to be attached to my items, but I've been getting ridiculously lowball offers, insultingly low. Don't be insulted by them. Just come back with what I do.
Yeah.
What do you do in that case?
Well, she says she just counters at a regular percentage along with the message. Thanks anyway. Let's say I have $25 and they come at $1. I just come back with $24. So I'll take your $1 off of my thing. Sure. Yeah, that's a good number. I like your number there. I just put it on, I just subtract it from the actual asking price and then I give them a $24 offer.
What if they come in at 10 on a 25? What do you do?
Yeah, I'll come back at 15. Maybe. It depends on what the item is.
Right. They're expecting you to come back at something and then you go back and forth. And
today's example would be somebody came in at $9 on an item. And it was I have 25% off. So it started at 36 and then it went down to something. And $9 was like, no. And I said, okay, 19. And they took it. So I don't know. I don't remember. I'm sorry. I can't remember what that was. I have so many items. I can't keep them all straight. So many sales. Not true.
Sometimes like if somebody comes in at 10 on a 35, depending on what it is, obviously, I'll do maybe 27 and a half, and I'll include a message, and I'll be like, hey, I'm like, it looks like we're probably too far off. I'm totally okay if you know you wanna decline. Basically, you just need to take a stance. Like you gotta act like take it or
No
leave,
big deal, you know.
but in a polite way. And you know, a lot of times they come back and they'll either take it or they'll come back with a much more reasonable offer.
Yes, and I have noticed that 8 times out of 10, a lowball will come up. Whether I take it or not, it's a different story. But I mean, because I'll always go back. I mean, and I answer, if ever I see an offer, I go as fast as I can, because I have to assume that offers disappear if they've looked at so if you send out offers on something and that person is going through eBay and looking at things, and you end up having a view, and eBay allows you to send an offer, that person's still shopping. So the quicker you can get the offer to them, the better. But the second they buy something, I think your ability to send out the offer disappears. So
yeah, I wonder. You're saying that eBay's technology is that smart? eBay can.
Oh, I think so.
It can tell.
Because why would you send an offer on something they just bought? I don't think they would do that.
Yeah.
But there's that's a complicated piece of programming, so who knows if it actually works. Patricia said big Starburst clocks are definitely holiday gifts. Yeah.
We've sold some,
yeah. We sold one a couple years ago to a lady that kept it for 2 months and then wanted no. She filed for a refund on the 30th day and then didn't ship it back for another 30, and then was like, oh, can I send it back? And I'm like, enjoy it. Just enjoy it. You bought it. You didn't send it back in time. You get to keep it now. Biff Boffo says, I don't want to mention my category. 37,000 items. We were both wrong.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want to crush his competition any more than he already does. Most people would enjoy the tedium anyway. But 37,000 items in his store. So
wow.
That's amazing. And then Jet says, oh my gosh, there's so many comments. Jet says, we're very busy, working about 12 hours a day. Our sales are up 12.3%, but due to our price reduction on our listings that take the money home is the same as last.
Yeah, we're working harder.
Working harder for the same amount. You know, that's better than working harder for half the amount, which some people are doing. And then Jack is prefacing his next statement with, I'm going to be negative here. The fact that eBay has no intention of trying to retain accounts or grow them says everything you need to know about eBay. And, you know, yes, eBay is a business. They're trying to do stuff. We all think they're probably not doing it right. Will they recover from what we consider to be heinous errors? Jack says, where do they expect the growth to come from? Us, obviously. That's obviously what's happening. We know that. There's no doubt about that. It's just, is the economy requiring that of them as a business, and then also hitting us, coming around this side? They're flanking us. The economy flanks us on this side. eBay also feels the pressures of the economy flanking us from the other side. And we are the people who are the action, the engine of the commerce.
Right. They can make up their money that they would have been losing, but we're not able to.
No, we can't. We can't raise our prices. That would be the obvious way to do it.
So I was talking to somebody, and they said, you know how we all talk about April 1st as being like the D-Day when things changed?
Mine was June 30th, but yes.
Somebody that I was having a conversation with recently, he said that in April is when eBay stopped promoting listings on Google.
Well, I'm not sure. So promote it. So
because you know how people can find stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering how. So the question is, do we only see things on Google that eBay has promoted, or is Google doing their own scraping? And I believe that's the case. Google scrapes eBay.
I typed in, so yesterday I typed in a few of our items into Google, but I actually copied and pasted our actual eBay title for
Mhm.
the item, and that did pull up the items. But then when I started taking some of the wording, some of the verbiage away, it wasn't pulling it up. But
Was it pulling up other ones?
oh yeah.
Was it pulling up older ones that you had deleted and ended?
Well, see, since we do a nuclear reset every single day, if you pull up a single one on Google, it's an old one or it's a current one.
Yeah, I'm trying to think when I clicked on it. One was a computer and it was an active listing, and then the other was
Like, how does it do that when I list every single
vintage
day?
clothing, and I honestly can't remember if I clicked on the link or not. But a week or so ago when I tested it, I tested 3 of our items, and 2 of them were old links. Old links.
That said this is not here anymore, and and showed you some other options.
But I don't remember what I was gonna say.
So they're not promoting on Google, and people. Do you think they're actually somehow blocking them?
Oh, so that is what I was going to say, because when I am looking for something to buy, I love vintage clothing. I usually go to Google. I don't go right to eBay. I don't go right to Etsy. I go to Google and type in, if I want a vintage Hawaiian dress, I type in vintage Hawaiian dress, and then I love to see all of the results from eBay, from Etsy,
Mercari, Poshmark,
and then I can click on whatever platform I want from Google. Lately, testing and just doing the normal searching that I like to do, sort of like window shopping online, I am barely seeing any eBay results. So I definitely see a difference.
To get any of these schemes to work, you have to pull away the traffic in order to charge for it, because it existed.
Yeah. Or I just have to go deeper in and then narrow things down, and I'm not seeing as many eBay. I see a lot of Mercari and Poshmark, but eBay is definitely deeper into the search.
So, do you think we can safely say that eBay, they stopped paying for Google traffic, or they stopped, and now it almost seems like they're actually somehow blocking it. So, to maybe make it so sellers do have to do the offsite promotion to get on.
I haven't noticed this. I haven't noticed the phenomenon. I probably should go check it out a little bit more. Because again, it depends on how rare the item is. Because if I look at some of our rare items, I search it on Google, it just pulls up our item still. But that has to just be Google scraping. Has nothing to do with eBay at all. That's what I'm thinking
is, because we're not paying for any offsite, so
not paying
it
for
must
any
be Google
promotion at all.
MJ is saying she gets a big box on her Seller Hub asking her to use social media to bring customers, and that is great. But
it's what we pay eBay for, of course.
It is, but I almost feel like, yes, younger sellers, they are so into TikTok and, using social media so much for everything. They are expecting us Gen Xers to start being more like that, which it's, a groove you got to get into. But
let me ask you a question that just came to my mind. I mean, this is a crazy question. It's really, actually, it's pretty fanciful, but do you think there's going to be any other good seller benefit? Do you think that eBay is going to come up with, so right now I get 10% off of my eBay fees for being a top rated seller. Do you think that they will have, as they try to get rid of bad sellers, will they encourage good sellers with any more programs that cut some of the fees or anything like that? Do you have any hope of them being a good partner in the future?
So you mean like if you rank high with the BBE, then you will get maybe more of a discount? Is that kind of what you're...
Yes, or more placement, anything. I mean, do you think that they're going to ever offer us another perk again, or are they just going to take stuff away?
I don't think so, because then that's more money that they're taking away from their earnings reports, right?
but we feel like they're going to at some point this is all going to catch up. I mean, I don't know. I just don't know how to look at the future.
Let's look at some of these.
Stoic is in the house. Stoic Reseller. I was watching a channel talking about why so much hate towards promoted listings. It's people not understanding this is the only growth eBay is having, and they will milk that growth. And like AI, their search, everything, nothing is that is as sophisticated as we think it is. And this is it's just literally a hand in your other pocket. Well, you're pulling out your wallet to pay them with this one. They're just like, oh, well, there's a couple.
Promoted listings is not complicated, and it's not advertising. It's just placement. But the off-site pay-per-click, there you're starting to get into the realm of a little confusing, a little bit vague. It's hard to quantify where your money is going.
Yeah.
You don't know. And I feel like eBay asking resellers to become marketers, I feel like it's just going to backfire. I don't, and not only that, what it might do is it might create an opportunity where there's, 1% of the eBay sellers really get that, and they really find a way to maximize.
Yeah.
And then you've got an uneven platform, which it seems like is the opposite of what eBay. Everyone talks about eBay throttling accounts and spreading the money around, not letting a handful of sellers make all the money. So that kind of contradicts what eBay seems to be doing. So many of things of what they're doing. I'm like you. I don't really see how this is going to play out.
It's very difficult. Okay. So
I wonder what channel Stoic was watching that he's referring to.
Yeah.
Stoic Reseller. What channel?
Yeah. What
that?
the hate towards promoted is? I don't know. I think I.
Oh, we got to get caught up here.
Yeah. So many. So the reset works because I'm heavily saturated category. My items basically stay towards the top all the time without promotions. Yes, absolutely. Good quality photos, good titles, fill in the item specifics. That always helps for sure. Dog walks the dog. I've heard eBay is focusing on newer high-end items, high sell-through rate, and the days of sell anything are over. Yeah, and just list it and leave it is dead.
Okay, I disagree with the sell anything because I showed you this. I sold this no fruitcake.
That's awesome.
For $11, including shipping. I mean, somebody had to find this. So I think you can sell anything within reason.
It's still, I think that they're separating the global garage sale from the high-end stuff, but I have always believed that the value comment, the high value items, that fruitcake is a high value item. It's because there's not that many of them. It's not about how much it costs per se. It's just that somebody wants it. Somebody bought it. It's a high value item. It's the things that just sit there and languish and take up server space for years and years and don't move. Maybe that's the low value items. But that was J Ride was the one who was he was quoting.
Patricia says no, you can still send that offer. I'm guessing that's on when you were saying if somebody buys that item.
That's my wife in there. Under
Patricia in here?
Maria.
Yeah.
What? Where?
She's under Patricia's comment.
Oh, she says, hey.
Aloha. Oh my gosh. Well, you get a horn and applause. Welcome to the party. We are covering all the different continents almost. There's so many continents covered here. Well, just two, but still. Well, Canada's not actually a continent, but it is different. Google. Hold on, I'm gonna try this. Google grabs from eBay 100% in my category. Only find promoted items on Google or items from other sites. Questions. There's just a lot of. There's so many comments. You guys are leaving so many comments that are great. We started reselling in eBay in July of 2023. We actually used to get recommended Facebook ads and Google ads of our own listing occasionally, but haven't seen anything like that recently.
I used to get those.
You're right. Yes.
Oh, you know what we do get with the...
Hopefully it's food. I'm really hungry.
No, with one of our credit cards,
Oh,
there's
yes.
obviously cookies on the computer from the credit card company, and we get emails all the time from them saying, hey, use your credit card to buy this eBay item, but it's our item because we're always looking at our own items and
it's going to give us 4% off of our own items as rewards, which isn't ideal.
So it's, paying attention to the clicks we're making on eBay and then sending us emails to purchase our own items. But I thought that was pretty neat. Does eBay get a cut of that? It's an off-site sale.
I don't. It all seems. Where was I saying? Was I saying that yesterday? I don't know. I never know what I'm talking about anymore. But I was saying how it really feels like everyone's just all the big tech firms that rely on advertising are just giving each other a back rub in a circle.
Sort of, yeah.
And it's not.
Well, I saw that eBay's trying. They, how like you have funds in your account. They want to give me a debit card now.
Yes, they want to. They want to become a bank and hold your money. They don't want you to take your money out of eBay. And that's.
They want to be a bank. They want to be an advertiser. They want to be a travel agency. They want to be an insurance company.
If they just took out the advertising piece, none of us would have any issues. Just do the part that we signed up with. You don't need to be X.com. You're eBay. You were the global garage sale. What happened to that? It's gone.
Yeah, they actually gave us a survey on our other eBay account, our newer eBay account, asking us about the whole holding our funds and would you be more likely to spend your money on eBay if your money was being held by eBay.
Brightline is going to the Supreme Court because eBay is throttling him. So
that's so great.
I think at Brightline E. I think is he British? I think he might be British. I'm not. I'm sorry.
That's
if I'm
a good one.
M says yes, and sorry I haven't circled back to you. Been baby everything.
Oh, baby.
And you're gonna be home soon. And the house is clean. I made sure. Michael R said, I would think that eBay used to pay for Google and FB ads to bring traffic, but at their own cost. And with the new promoted listings, now that why bother? Because we're paying for it. Likely to block it because that's, you have to turn off that traffic in order to then charge to turn it back on in all the cases of their list of their promotions at some point. Patricia Brightline, I have wondered about the legal all eBay maneuvers are. What do you think about that? The legality of what they do, I think is pretty much, security exchange aside, I think they can pretty much just gouge us any way they want. There's nothing illegal about it. No. It's just distasteful and cacas.
I think the thing that about promoted listings is there's so much. We don't really, we pick a number, but we don't really know what we're getting. At the end of the day, we don't really know where our stuff is being shown. Like, for example, somebody on my channel, I'm going to read a comment, and I just want your guys' take on this. So somebody says, because I must have been talking about organic traffic, and he goes, wait, define organic. To me, in the entire SEO world, organic means someone uses their browser to type in some keywords and up comes a listing. Could be eBay or Amazon or even a regular store. That is organic to me. How eBay classifies this is a mystery. Is eBay organic searches coming from listings found on search engines such as Google, Bing, DuckDuckGo? Or does it mean something else? What is eBay's definition of organic? Let's just start there. Does anybody have an answer? Some say Google searches are external sites. This makes no sense either. What exactly does external sites mean? Yes. He's like, come on, those of you who have been selling for 10 years or more should know for sure. But I don't know what external sites.
No. Well, we can't know because they just made up these terms recently. So these are off-site views. So when you do promoted listings and you go into your promoted listing dashboard, whatever that's called, marketing, advertising dashboard, and then you go to your promoted listing campaign, which mine are all off, but it shows the performance, the impressions of the performance, and that's supposed to be what you're looking at. And I was promoting up until November 12th. So on November 13th, both the impression scale, whatever you call this thing, the chart, just falls down to 0. Why? Because I'm not promoting anything. But here's the thing. There's 2 lines in that performance impression chart. One of them is for promoted listings impression. That's your green. The other one is for organic impressions, parentheses, promoted. What the heck does that mean? So when they show you your ROAS, I have not.
Can you click on the eye?
I don't want that. When I look at the ROAS, which is the return on ad spend, I have not promoted since November 14th, and it says my ROAS is 21.31. That is my return on ad spend. It is up 4.4% versus last 31-day period. I don't
know what it means. I really don't.
Well, because what they're doing in order to calculate these numbers and to give you your ROAS, they include both your promoted impressions and your organic impressions. So they are telling you, they're basically telling you one thing but doing something else. So they're getting your numbers to boost your ROAS. They are including your organic numbers. So if you only promote half your stuff, but it's at the same time period that you're promoting, that you have unpromoted stuff, they include your unpromoted stuff with your promoted stuff to give you the ROAS, which is false to what I want to know. I don't, that is not, that it's a lie. It's a lie. I mean, but it's not a lie, because what they're doing is they're providing you with so many numbers and so many pretty colors and so many different words that, like you very well point out, I'm not a marketer, but they're giving us tools that a professional marketer would have.
Right. We're just left to trust what they're telling us. Trust
what they're telling us. We stumble around them. We look at them. Oh, they're green. That's green is good. Purple is a very pleasant color.
Well, how about James, my boring reseller life? He got the notification from eBay that he sold some items via promoted offsite, through Google or whatever. But eBay doesn't tell him exactly what items they were. So, of course, he sells many items in a day, but a portion of those were supposedly from an offsite ad, but eBay doesn't tell him which item it was.
Josh Motorcycle Dork, I think he showed, it did say which ones, right?
No, it didn't. He found it by the amount. He knew what the amount was.
Okay. And he only had like 2 sales, so he was able to discern.
Yeah.
But if you have a whole bunch of sales, you can't. And I think they rely on us being confused. There's no doubt. No doubt about that.
Sort of like insurance policies.
Well, and that's why I think it's not illegal. It's just So we're buying these products from them. They're like, well, we're offering these products to you, and you're buying them. So we did our job. But it would be cool to know exactly what you're getting for your money. And then that brings up a certain interesting point. If the numbers aren't right and we're relying on them to make decisions to either use their products or not, then we do get into an issue of maybe legalities. I mean, I'm not going to say that because I don't know.
Yeah.
But it does seem like there's some jeopardy or some.
I think the bottom line is eBay is fostering a culture of like they're causing us just to be suspicious of where our money is going.
We're suspicious, yes. At this point, we're officially all suspicious, and I think the more people that advertise, the more people see nothing for their advertising, because
and that makes us more suspicious.
And there's nothing that's gonna fix that unless they actually.
Do you see? There's a comment from FR, and they said, I had an offer the other day. It said that if I accept it, it would be a 28% ad fee. I've never promoted over 15%. So where was that?
Do you have more than one advert? Without knowing it, do you have more than one ad campaign going? Because sometimes you just, when you relist things, they start up a new one when you don't realize it.
Oh, so it's the same ad campaign but doubled up, or
No,
No,
brand new one.
that can't be true.
interesting?
Yeah, I've had that happen. Well, so and you remember when you used she used a pre-existing item that had been that was
It was sold, something we sold, and we were putting up a new item, something similar. So I went to the sold item to sell similar. Just I wanted to make sure I kept the same type of format and title and
for a
everything.
45 record.
And and then he says to me, "Hey," after I had loaded pictures and changed all the data to represent the new item, he said, "Why did you put this up?"
Well,
a
what happened was
discount?"
I noticed on my chart, which is all blue organics, all of a sudden there was this little tip of green, and I was like, "That's that demonstrates promoted listings." I'm like, "I'm not promoting anything. Why do I have this little tip of green? Little tip?" And I went and looked in there, and it was because she copied the ad, and it somehow had promoted activated in the when she copied that item.
The sold item. I
And
copied the sold item.
And what it did was create a brand new advertising campaign with one item in it. And it was this one item. And it was a simple fixed advertising campaign. And so I'm not saying that was not, I don't think that was nefarious or anything. That was just us not, that was our fault.
Yeah,
so I'll take full
had no
credit for
idea.
that. But
Every time I a new item, I always deselect promoted listings. Do you?
we don't have to do that because
you know,
normally we just use we have templates, and in the templates it's deselected. And unless you have I never knew that if you didn't have a promoted listing campaign started, it would create one for you if you happen to have, because this is a weird situation where we're using an old thing that the promoted listing tick box was on. And so, but we didn't have an ad campaign for it to fit into. So it just created a new one with that one item in there.
So lesson learned on that.
And I can't blame them for that, but at the same time, check your, be wary, check your ad campaigns and make sure you don't have any secret ad campaigns running that you didn't know about.
Okay, so
right now we have none.
On the comments.
So many comments. You guys are great with the comments. Thank you very much. I'll try to find out where we are. Nickel and diming existing. Okay, so Marilyn Wilson, eBay is focused on nickel and diming us to death for sure. She's saying a strange new business plan. It's not strange in the sense that there's nowhere to go when you build a business that you have declining buyers. So, a retail business. The buyers are the key to the business. If you're losing buyers, the only thing you can do, and you're gaining sellers by the droves, the only thing you can do is what they're doing. It's not, I'm just questioning the word strange, because if I was them, and I'm not just going to shut the doors on the business, what else could I do? They think they're smart doing this. And I think
she continues with
thank you.
How are they going to attract new sellers to the platform?
Yeah.
If they're new sellers, though, they don't know what what things were like. They only know the new requirements, and
well, they're gonna have to wait for us to die off, and we're just gonna keep whining until they
they don't know what it used to be like and what they are missed out on. I mean, we've been here forever, so we're complaining because we know what it used to be like.
Let's see. Matt Marg said, what happened to the loss leader philosophy? E-Bucks. Remember E-Bucks? We actually, they were trying to grow sellers at that point, right? Or did you get money from selling stuff or buying stuff? How did you get eBay bucks? I can't even remember now. But somehow you got like 2% of what you spent on eBay. You got like more money. Oh no, it was a selling promotion, I think. Anyway, they don't have that anymore, but we used to use that. I mean, I would have like $50 to spend.
Well, Jeff, didn't a while ago in one of your videos you were talking about how will eBay get new buyers to the website, and you were sort of spitballing, saying something about maybe offering them discount on something or $10 toward an item.
Oh, wow, we're so behind on this.
Was that you? That
Yeah.
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 Which
Yeah,
they need to get more buyers.
It was just
to the
a random
website.
thought that I had,
Yeah.
and I often will share my, the conversations that I have with myself.
No, I thought it was a good conversation you had with yourself.
Stoic is saying something that I struggle with too. I'm struggling with the concept of giving out the channel name or not. I don't want it to be seen as a hit piece. The premise was that some sellers need to get out of the way. Yeah, I mean, I feel great though. I mean, I feel healthy, because I walked today, so we got that.
I don't know. I feel like I'm feeling a little down with our conversation.
I know, but we can't do that because that's not the point. Is to feel down. It's really just to have, I really want to just feel a measure of control. And when I do that, I say we have money coming in every month. We have thousands of dollars coming into our account from eBay. It's half of what we made last year and up to June. But we still have money coming in. We're still working and we're still employed by eBay. And so if we have to have one thing, can we just say at least that?
Yes. And things may turn around.
Well,
and
how is January for you normally? Because this year January is my best month.
Yeah, January all the way through, well, June. So May, this could lead to the credence of things A/B testing type stuff. We normally have the slowdown definitely starts in May, and then June is usually not that great. July is dump, and then August is a double dump. So and then September, you're like, okay, cool, it's September, everyone's back in school, people can shop again, and do stuff. And that didn't happen this year. And then it didn't happen in October, and it didn't happen in November, and it's not happening in December.
I feel that in the past and now even, we do sell a lot of items that people would buy for themselves. So we've always had a really good January. I don't know if it's, people get money as
That's
a
right.
gift for Christmas or for the holidays, and then they spend it with us in January. But we've always had a pretty decent January.
Patricia says she doesn't think eBay is acting in good faith, and
So I want to comment on something you just said, Spam, because it's very important. A lot of what we're going through right now it is very negative and it is depressing. And here's the reason why. This is from my perspective. This is the reason why, is because we have all of our eggs in the eBay.
I know, I get it.
And that's why I just totally believe, like, diversifying, local sales, district, whatever you do, that is what makes me feel so much more optimistic. Because when I don't feel that, I feel so reliant on eBay, and I feel that it's just something that we just all have to do now. Like, whereas I was like James from my boring reseller life for the longest time. I just wanted to do eBay. I didn't want to be distracted, but and you know what? Maybe things will get fixed in eBay in a year from now, and we'll look back at this as just like a crappy time in our reselling past. And
the
but
trauma is sticking after 6 months of this. The trauma is sticking. The PTSD is sticking. So
it is.
Canceling.
And I was speaking to somebody who studied Krylov, and so Krylov is like the AI. It's like everyone talks about Cassini, but Krylov is like the AI. And this particular person that I was speaking with was very knowledgeable in a lot of these. I took some notes, but I didn't start taking notes until about 3/4 of the way into the conversation, because he was like, he was so knowledgeable, and I didn't even know if I would be able to relay any of this information back. I'm going to try to in one of my videos. Long story short, he still sees another year of this of what's going on, only because that's how long it takes for the AI and to actually kind of learn, and for all the changes,
train the AI, yeah,
for everything that eBay is trying to do. Because I took some notes. Let me see if I can find them. The bottom line is he doesn't know if it will work. He thinks it will, but eBay is going to look different, but there is a chance it could backfire. I know that's all very, very vague, but my point of even mentioning this is I think we need to prepare ourselves for like a potentially at least another year of kind of like the instability of the platform, where we get sales and then we don't. And I think that's the hardest thing when you're full time, is not having that predictable amount of sales, because it's stressful. So I want to be very optimistic about where they're going to be a year from now, but I also, this year has opened my eyes to make me decide that I can't, for my own mental health, I cannot have and rely on eBay for 100% of my sales. That's out the window.
And listening to you and other eBay YouTubers is definitely making me feel a lot more comfortable with the idea of...
We're slow, though. We're slow to
adapt. With selling on other platforms, but you especially, Jeff, like you're building, like I'm getting a little more pumped up, like, okay, we really...
Go check out Hayfrosells over at district.net at his store.
Hey Pop Culture!
I just focused, I think I've signed up 5 sellers now.
5?
What?
How many?
I think there's 5. I just spoke to somebody before
nice.
You from New York City. I have another one that I got to talk to. Maybe 2 more I got to talk to today. Actually, I wanted to talk to you recently. You spoke with Ivan. Yeah. You went through the onboarding process. How was that like for you? What were your likes and dislikes about it? Because I want to be very honest. Like, I don't want to like be like go district, but at the same time go district, because whether it's district or whether it's someone else, we need it. We need a real competitor to eBay.
We do need a competitor, and Spam here was right here listening to the conversation, and my questions. So basically, I like to vibe on it, and I did. And the thing is that it was all positive. Now, I can't see all the traps and pitfalls ahead of time, so the vibe I got was super positive. I liked all the little features they had involved in it, like live streams and being able to, and I don't even understand how it works, but live stream from your district to YouTube, and then someone can claim the item. I don't understand the ins and outs of this, but they can just type in claim on the chat. Like if you typed in claim, it would
automatically send an
invoice. And also we asked questions like, what about W-2s? What about if there were sellers under us, or for us, do we get W-2s? Yes, they have all that covered. So kind of ask a couple questions around the edges and assume that if they have those things covered, they're going to have everything covered. I have a positive feeling.
Yeah, I do too. And I asked him, because what's great with him, thank you for hooking us up with him, he is also a seller. So
yes, right.
He buys and sells online, eBay, on District, and
he sells women's soccer cards, just women's soccer cards.
And
how much? That's the niche you can get.
Yeah,
super niche.
And he was so I asked him, how many sellers do you have on your marketplace, and how much time does it take you to sort of moderate those sellers? And because that's my concern, how much time would an owner of a marketplace have to sort of babysit the sellers? And he said, not much. He said more or less than I would hope for. So it sounds like he would like to interact more with his sellers, but
the cool part about I think District that eBay doesn't have is we have the feedback system on eBay, so that is fraught with issues. I mean, we have 100%, and it's fine. We don't really have a lot of issues, but we also kiss some serious ass if there's a problem. We basically just, usually just pay the people and just, move on from it. And that doesn't leave you feeling, it leaves you feeling a little, taken advantage of. Especially that just happened. Somebody did take advantage of us, but that's fine. With District, it's all about the community. So you can chat, you can say, hey, this is a bad seller. You can say, hey, you didn't send me the right thing. You can say it right there, and it can be handled and addressed clearly, concisely, to create a trust-filled marketplace, as opposed to just numbers and out of context comments. And I found that to be very positive, because when you start creating a nice community, you definitely can see how more sales will come out of that, because people trust your marketplace and they see all this history.
I want to share something that I learned. I was watching, and I don't normally watch this, but for some reason I went on the Trash to Cash podcast with the member that did it. So they were talking about District, and they were saying that how you can send out the magical comments, is what they call it. You can send something out you can post something on Twitter, people can claim it, right? There's the claim, there's the word claim on that feed. So they had an idea that they wanted that, and they spoke with District, and instead of it saying claim, they changed it. They got them to put the word dib in there, like dibs.
Wow.
Dibs.
That's
and
awesome.
I thought that was cool that District would be willing to, go into the coding for them and do that. Now, obviously, they demand, they've, between the three of those creators, they have a large audience. So I wouldn't expect that's something that they'll do for anybody. But at the same time, it's still super cool that
Ivan said, send any questions or anything like that. He's like, send it to me.
And I think it's because they're still in the beginning stages of building
very
this
new
company.
They can change on a dime. Some things they can change on a dime.
We asked, if we were to create a marketplace and we wanted these specifics by our sellers, would we be allowed to request that? And he said, absolutely, we would work with you and support you.
Which is really exciting. And that's what I found, like, excitement. I haven't felt excited about eBay for a long time.
I know. Well, I haven't felt excited about reselling in general until a few weeks ago, where I things started to shift. Sales started to come in. Local sales have really taken off, and then District, and then after the onboarding process, the very first thing you said to me was, "I can see why you're so excited about District."
I mean, it's a cool. The idea is so cool. The fruition seems to be cool. I want it to be cool. I guess I'm just really old, and I have this. I have other ideas for District that aren't so straightforward.
And that's what I love.
That I think it will be great for.
When you were telling me your ideas, it got me thinking about things in a whole different way.
Yeah. I mean, the idea, do we want to say the idea? I mean, we can say the idea. It's not like...
You can say the idea that you want to say.
I'm not going to tell you the exact idea, but the idea of the idea is to curate a store and sellers. You don't even have to sell on District. You can just curate a beautiful collection of goods with other sellers, and you put in the time and curate this stuff, and you'd have to be offering something to the sellers, like some sort of a benefit, but that is possible with this, and especially if you can customize it and do certain things, and all of this it's not really, it is social media, but when you can see people and you can talk to people, your buyers and the sellers are in the same place, it's just really the community that you wish eBay could have been. And thank you everybody for so many comments. Like I see, hopefully everyone's talking to each other. That's mostly what I see.
They are, thankfully, because we're not really engaging much.
But I did see Good Karma Antique says, how about Primo Kimo's used Rolls Royce lot as a backup to eBay? I mean, it's I can't actually show you a used Rolls Royce lot, but I actually to sell my car, which is not, I'm not crying about it. It just, I'm a collector, so I have items to sell when things get bad. But it was bad enough to sell my Rolls Royce, and that sucks. But I can get another one. Like they're not.
I like it's nice to know that you're a part of a beta test, right? A life beta test.
Life is a beta test. It is for sure. And you get one chance, and I hope everybody does that part right. Enjoy this time, even if it's miserable. But if you're not packaging things in the morning, go for a walk. Smell a rose if you have warmth.
In the scheme of things, it could be a lot more miserable.
It can be.
There's a lot more misery going on in the world.
Don't tempt it. Don't tempt the world.
We are fortunate to be able to even do this.
Jack says district is what eBay should have strived for over the past decade. Can you imagine the position now if they had invested that money in the platform at the time? Yes, I can.
I do.
Because it would be district.
I don't blame eBay for wanting to grow. I think what they should have done was they should have created if they wanted to focus on high-end stuff, they should have simply created, just like they did with eBay Motors, they should have created like eBay Luxury.
Yes, agreed.
And left the core of eBay
a global
what
garage
it was.
sale, right?
Yeah, I absolutely 100%
absolutely true
agree with that.
because then you don't. I mean, why not separate out your client base segment your client base a little bit? I mean, eBay Motors is still mixed in,
Yeah.
So it's not like you wouldn't, but that way you could focus on that stuff and be able to sell it more effectively to the rich people that want it.
Like a real on eBay.
And it's not all rich people.
Real.
Like real, or any of those luxury things. Now, luxury brands are down across the board right now.
I agree with Patricia. She says Posh is mostly a younger, hipper audience, which that is what a lot of these new platforms are. Younger, hipper. eBay is like, boomer. What do they say? Boomer. And Gen Xers always get forgotten about. But, eBay is not as hip, I don't think, to younger people.
But you know what? They are one good advertising campaign away from being hip.
eBay?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I agree.
Did you see there is a when I logged out of eBay and I had to come back in, there was a new landing page. I think was trying to be hip.
Says hi.
No,
Wait,
no.
I'm like, what?
It's still loading. I don't know. It's actually really slow for some.
Yeah.
Probably because we're live streaming.
Oh, okay.
So when I sign out, it takes you to. No, I'm not seeing it right now. It was just a full page with, some people of every nationality sort of thing across here to, say we're inclusive. Now it's showing me a Blumhouse murder show.
Peacock streaming.
But it was showing me an eBay branded thing with young people that were like, oh my gosh, eBay is so exciting. And we saw that once this morning, and now it's not showing up again. So I guess.
I mean, in another 5 years, eBay will be 30, and they'll be considered vintage. So maybe they can do some kind of marketing campaign.
Hey, Shani, be coming in with a
Motorcycle Dork is saying eBay Motors has its own app now.
A separate app?
See, that's what they should have done. eBay Luxury. I'm telling you, that would have been the best.
I absolutely agree.
We just put an L in there. eBay Luxury.
Or
just do our own.
Actually, what they should have done is eBay authenticated, and that would have encompassed everything that is authenticated, because that's kind of like what they want to do. They want to provide a safe experience, and then eBay is kind of like what eBay has always been.
The global garage sale, which is the best thing ever. The global garage sale is the best. Is it not?
Curated collectibles, not good.
And JL says, replying to Stoic, he's saying that eBay makes you think you're not good after however long you've been on the platform, but other platforms prove it's not you, which is why I'm moving elsewhere.
I mean, I'm a firm believer also that most businesses are, encouraged through tax breaks and stuff. And then if something goes, all of American business is kind of, what's the word I'm looking for, Jack? Where you get Jack. I'm sorry, Jeff, Josh, Jack, James, Jay. What do you businesses get corporate welfare? So to encourage businesses to grow, there's a lot of tax breaks and things that are fake in the growth process of big business. And eventually it catches up. What happened?
Oh,
eBay.
eBay. At comments. Sorry.
So basically what I'm saying is eBay has faked, they've made all this money, but now their core business isn't what it seemed, but they still have to make money to appease their investors. And that's what I'm talking about, corporate welfare. Just that it's Apple wouldn't be worth what it is if it didn't have didn't have to pay things that everyone else does. That kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So now eBay is at the point where they've kind of reached the peak, and now you can only say they're going downhill right now by charging the buyers, because that can only go so far. They have to somehow get more buyers in at some point. So on the horizon, you would think there would be, or eBay is just going to actually go down, because businesses can fail pretty quickly in this kind of environment. But I think we all know that they have a lot of cash. I don't know what really that does for them if no one uses their system and no one uses their promoted listings.
James, my boring reseller life says, starts with a J, makes YouTube videos about eBay.
Right. You must have a J name to do
Must make videos. Must make videos. Exterminate. Hey guys.
Yeah.
I gotta get going.
You do? Okay.
We're reaching our critical mass for the time.
Okay. We are. Yes, we are.
We've been on for an hour and 11 minutes. So
we got some for next week.
We do. We've got lots to talk about. It'll probably be at least a little bit about how bad eBay is, and a little bit about District, a little bit about the future. And I hope we see something good in the next week, and I hope you guys see something good next week. So until next week, have a great week, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks for being here, everyone.
Aloha. And Maria, welcome home. You'll be home soon. Adios.
I think she bailed.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.